One introduction. When fate speaks, have you ever wondered why there are things that no matter how hard we try, they still cannot be changed? Even when we run away, complain, or get angry, fate somehow finds a way to bring us back to the same path, as if an invisible hand is guiding everything. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome, once said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people whom destiny places beside you." A sentence that seems simple, yet hidden within it lies a profound Stoic philosophy, the philosophy of acceptance and love for the world as it is. We live in an age where humans always want to control everything. We want to command time, to grasp results, to make everything go our way. But the more we try to control, the more anxious we become, because we forget that there are things forever beyond our power. And it is in the very moment we stop struggling, stop fighting against the current of fate, that a strange sense of peace begins to appear. Not because we are weak, or because we give up, but because we have learned to move with the flow of nature, instead of resisting it. That is the spirit of the Stoic. Not to change what cannot be changed, but to change ourselves so that we may live in harmony with it. So, let us begin this journey, a journey to discover the true meaning of accepting fate and loving people, just as Marcus Aurelius once lived and understood. 2. The art of accepting fate acceptance. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet for most of us, it is one of the hardest lessons to truly live by. We are born into a world that constantly whispers in our ears, "You must fight, you must achieve, you must win." And so we learn to resist everything that doesn't go our way. When life disappoints us, we call it unfair. When someone leaves us, we call it fate's cruelty. When our plans collapse, we curse the heavens and demand answers. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, life does not owe us explanation. The Stoic does not waste energy asking why things happen, but instead focuses on how to respond when they do. He teaches us to see the world as a vast river. Some days, the current is calm and carries us gently forward. Other days, it storms and crashes against us with all its force. We cannot stop the river, but we can learn to move with its flow, to find balance within its chaos. That is the essence of Stoic acceptance. It is not passive. It is not surrender. It is strength. The quiet, unshakable strength of one who understands what can be changed and what must simply be embraced. Epictetus once said, "Of things, some depend upon ourselves, others do not." This single distinction is the foundation of freedom, because once you stop fighting the things beyond your control, you begin to reclaim the power that was always yours, the power over your own mind. Marcus Aurelius lived by this truth. As emperor of the most powerful empire on earth, he faced betrayal, war, plague, and personal loss. Yet his writings never reveal anger at fate. Instead, they show gratitude. A quiet acceptance that everything which happens for the good of the whole. Imagine that for a moment. To rule an empire in chaos and still find peace in your heart. To lose those you love and still choose love over bitterness. That is not weakness. That is mastery. Acceptance begins with understanding that the universe is not against you. It is not testing you, nor trying to punish you. It simply is. And within that vast, unfolding order, You have your role, your moment, your duty. The Stoics often spoke of amor fati, love your fate. Not just endure it, not just tolerate it, but love it. Love the storms as much as the sunshine. Love the pain as much as the pleasure. Because each moment, no matter how small or harsh, is a thread in the fabric of your becoming. When you begin to see life this way, something changes. The same events that once filled you with anger or despair now appear different. You start to sense a hidden harmony beneath it all. You begin to trust the rhythm of things, to understand that even the moments of loss carry meaning, that even the hardest trials polish the soul. Acceptance is not resignation. It is awakening. It is the quiet whisper that says, I am where I am meant to be, and I will act with virtue right here. And this is where peace begins, not in the perfect alignment of external events, but in the steady alignment of your inner world, when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in tune with nature's flow. You become unshakable. Marcus wrote, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and you will go on well. It is a call to release the grip of control, to live, not as a master of the world, but as a humble student of it. So when the next storm comes, when plans fail, when someone misunderstands you, when life turns away from your desires, pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Remember the words of the Stoics. This, too, is part of the path. This, too, belongs. And perhaps beneath the noise of struggle, you will hear something else, the soft voice of fate, gently saying, welcome back. You are right where you need to be. 3. Loving the people. Fate has placed beside you. To accept fate is only half of the Stoic journey. The other half, perhaps even harder, is to love. To love the people whom destiny has placed beside you, not the ones you wish were there, not the ones who always understand you, but those who stand in your life as it is now. Marcus Aurelius did not write from the comfort of perfection. He wrote from the battlefield, from sleepless nights, from years of betrayal and disappointment. He faced envy in the Senate, conspiracies in the court, and even a son who failed to live by the virtues he held dear. Yet through it all, Marcus chose compassion over resentment. He understood that every person, friend, stranger, or enemy, is a part of the same great organism of nature. To harm them, or to hate them, is to wound the very body to which you belong. Men exist for the sake of one another. He wrote, teach them, or bear with them. How simple, and yet how hard. It is easy to love when others are kind. It is easy to forgive when they apologize. But what about the ones who wound us? What about those who judge, or misunderstand, or speak against us without reason? Here lies the true test of the Stoic heart. To love, not because others deserve it, but because love itself is an act of wisdom. To understand that every human being, no matter how flawed, is struggling with their own unseen burden, Marcus would remind himself each morning, today you will meet the meddling, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, the unsocial, but none of them can harm you, for you share the same nature. What if we lived that way? What if we began each day with that calm awareness that nothing others say or do can touch the peace within us unless we allow it to? The Stoics taught that love is not emotion, it is understanding. When you look at someone through the lens of understanding, anger softens, pride dissolves, and compassion quietly takes its place. You begin to see yourself in others, your fears in their fears, your mistakes in their mistakes, and in that moment, judgment turns into empathy. To love the people whom fate has placed beside you means to see life as a shared journey, not a battlefield of right and wrong. It means to offer patience where others offer noise, to respond with silence instead of reaction, to give without keeping score. There is a quiet strength in that kind of love, a love that expects nothing, that flows naturally from inner stillness. It is not the love of dependency, nor the love that seeks reward. It is the love that simply is, as natural as sunlight, falling upon both flower and stone. Marcus Aurelius believed that to live well is to live in harmony with fate, with nature, and with people. He knew that resentment only poisons the heart of the one who holds it. So, he let go. He forgave. He loved, not because the world was kind, but because his soul had learned to be. Think of this, my friend. Each person you meet today is a reflection of life's own teaching. The gentle remind you of grace. The harsh remind you of patience. The indifferent remind you of the peace that depends only on yourself. To love them all, in their imperfection, is to stand at the very heart of Stoic wisdom. It is to look upon the world and whisper, everything belongs. Everyone is part of the same whole. So when fate brings someone difficult into your path, do not ask, why them? Ask instead, what lesson have they come to teach me? That question alone can turn pain into insight and conflict into growth. Love, in its highest form, is acceptance. The same acceptance we give to fate, now extended toward every human soul. When you learn to love this way, you begin to see the beauty in all things, even in those who once caused you sorrow. You stop expecting perfection. You stop chasing ideals, and in that space, you find peace, quiet, deep, and unshakable. Marcus Aurelius lived and ruled among flawed men, yet he found wisdom among them. He looked at life and said, the universe is change. Life is opinion. If that is so, then love, true, Stoic love, is the choice that gives meaning to all change. So as you walk through this life, remember, fate has bound you to certain people for a reason, some to test you, some to teach you, and some to walk beside you in silence. Cherish them all, for they, too, are threads in the vast fabric of your becoming. For the power of inner peace in relationships, there is a calmness that cannot be shaken, a peace that does not depend on who stands beside you, nor on what the world chooses to bring. It is the peace of a soul that has mastered itself. The Stoics called it tranquility, a state of mind untouched by the storms of emotion, yet alive with deep compassion and understanding. Marcus Aurelius knew this peace. He sat among emperors and generals, listened to flattery and deceit, heard the noise of ambition and the cries of war. And yet within himself, there was silence. He once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is where all relationships begin, not with others, but within yourself. If you cannot find peace within, you will seek it endlessly in others, and when they fail to provide it, as they always will, you will call it disappointment. But peace is not something to be found. It is something to be cultivated, moment by moment, through awareness and acceptance. When someone speaks harshly to you, pause, breathe, observe the feeling that arises. Do not let it rule you. Say to yourself, "This is simply an impression, not reality." In that instant, you step into freedom. You choose your response instead of reacting to their emotion. This is the Stoic art of living, to hold your ground with calmness, to remain centered no matter the noise outside. The more you practice this, the stronger it becomes. You begin to see that no one can truly disturb your peace unless you hand it over to them, and when you stop giving your peace away, you start to live from a place of quiet strength. Marcus faced countless challenges, commanders who defied him, friends who betrayed him, people who misunderstood his silence for pride. Yet, he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." There is something powerful in that. To rise above resentment is not weakness, it is victory, the highest form of self-mastery. Inner peace is not about isolation. It does not mean turning your back on people or emotions. It means engaging with the world, but never becoming lost in it. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, winds swirling, waves crashing, and yet your feet remain steady on the ground. That is what it means to be calm within chaos. In relationships, this calmness becomes a gift. When you stop demanding others to make you happy, you begin to give them freedom. When you stop judging their every flaw, you begin to see their humanity, and from that place of understanding, love naturally flows. The Stoics taught that emotions are not our enemies. They are signals, guiding us back to balance. Anger shows where you still cling to control, or shows where you resist uncertainty. Sadness shows where you hold too tightly to what must change. When you meet these emotions with calm awareness, they lose their power to enslave you, and the space that opens up inside, that is peace. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom, then, is not about external choice. It is about internal control. It is about knowing that your peace, your joy, your clarity, come from within, not from the shifting tides of others. So the next time someone disappoints you, do not rush to anger. Pause and remind yourself, this person, too, is acting according to what they believe is right. You may not agree, but you can understand, and from understanding, forgiveness grows. Forgiveness, after all, is not about letting someone off the hook. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of bitterness. When you forgive, you do not change the past, you change your relationship with it. Marcus Aurelius lived this truth every day. He did not let the bitterness of the world darken his soul. He faced life as it was, people as they were, and still chose virtue, still chose peace, still chose love. And you can do the same. Inner peace is not given by fate. It is earned. It is the daily practice of choosing calm over chaos, wisdom over reaction, understanding over pride. In the quiet of your mind, you become unshakable. You begin to see that no matter who enters or leaves your life, your peace remains your own. It is your sacred ground, your fortress built not of walls, but of awareness, and within it you will find a strength that no storm can touch. So today, when you speak with others, when you face conflict or misunderstanding, let your heart remain still. Respond, not react. Understand, not accuse. And in doing so, you will discover what Marcus Aurelius discovered long ago, that true peace is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of the self within it. 5. Living in harmony with fate and humanity. To live in harmony. That is the quiet dream behind every Stoic teaching. Not to conquer the world, not to bend fate to our will, but to stand in stillness amidst its endless movement and say with calm certainty, this is enough. Harmony begins when acceptance and love meet, when you no longer fight what is beyond your control, and no longer resist the people who share your journey. It is the point where your heart, your reason, and the universe breathe in the same rhythm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live." In these words, there is a simple yet profound truth. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are part of its unfolding, not an observer, not a victim. When you learn to live this way, every moment, joy or pain, gain or loss, becomes part of a greater music. You stop asking the universe to play your song and begin to listen to the song that has always been playing. This is the art of harmony, and it begins, as all things do, within. Imagine your life as a garden. Fate brings the rain and the wind, the sunshine and the frost. You cannot choose the weather, but you can choose how to care for the soil. You can choose what grows there. If resentment takes root, it will choke every other seed. If patience and gratitude are tended, the garden will bloom even in the harshest seasons. To live in harmony is to tend your inner garden wisely. It is to understand that the world is neither good nor bad. It simply is. And how you meet it, that is where meaning is born. Marcus faced wars, betrayal, loss. Yet he never turned bitter. He looked upon the vastness of life and saw order where others saw chaos. He understood that every event, no matter how painful, was a thread woven by nature's hand. To resist it would be to resist the fabric of existence itself. And so, he accepted. He forgave. He continued to act with justice, courage, and humility. For him, virtue was the music of the soul, and harmony could only exist where virtue lived. When you live in harmony, you no longer depend on circumstances for peace. You no longer need others to behave perfectly for you to feel whole. You no longer demand that life meet your expectations. Instead, you meet life as it is, with open eyes, open hands, open heart. This does not mean you stop striving. It means you strive without clinging. You act without fear of failure. You love without needing to possess. You give without expecting return. This is freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to remain yourself through it all. When you walk in harmony with fate, you become part of something vast, something eternal. You see that every joy and every sorrow is part of the same divine pattern. You stop separating good from bad and begin to see only growth. Think of the ocean, calm on some days, storming on others. No matter how the waves rise and fall, the depth below remains still. Your soul is that depth. The surface may change, but the depths, your reason, your virtue, your peace, remain untouched. And when you live from that depth, you begin to see beauty everywhere. In the faces of strangers, in feministern, the silence after the storm, even in the lessons that pain delivers. Harmony is not a gift given by fate. It is the reward of living wisely. It is the echo of a soul aligned with truth. So as this reflection draws to an end, remember, life will continue to unfold in ways you cannot predict. There will be loss. There will be joy. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion. But through it all, you can remain steady. Through it all, you can remain kind. Through it all, you can remain yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." In that vision lies the heart of Stoicism. To live in harmony with all that is, to love what is given, and to give what love can create. So walk gently, my friend. Accept your fate. Love those who walk beside you, and carry peace as your constant companion. Because in the end, the most beautiful life is not the one that controls everything, but the one that flows gracefully with everything. If this message has touched something within you, take a moment to breathe, to reflect, and to share this calm with someone who may need it today. Let us walk the Stoic path together, one mindful breath at a time.